Adventure Comics number 472 with Starman and Plastic Man. This is before Aquaman joined to make it a three-story comic. In this particular comic book, we see that Starman, he's basically found a sarcophagus that is basically, it's an air pod or a pod for, like, escape pod. He's trying to get the person out. He finds out it is evidently his wife, and he finds out from her that his sister is still alive. So he goes on a quest to find her. He gets sucked up by this alien spacecraft that and this is pretty cool here. I thought this art was interesting. This is obviously Steve Ditko, his art, and he's finding out that people are plugged into the machine, and basically they're being used as a human, I wouldn't say human, as a living database for a giant computer. He finds his sister, who doesn't know he's actually Starman in real life. They don't. Anyway, another thing about these aliens, all these little things on their heads. But she's like, save me. And then he gets into the ship, then breaks it away. Basically, all these pods are like cells connected to each other. He breaks away. Well, unfortunately, they didn't communicate to the guys that they're coming back. And the ship's like, oh, there's one of those guys now. Shoot it on sight. What they're going to do is accidentally shoot their princess or queen. I'm not sure exactly what I said. All right, and in Plastic Man, the second story, we see that this girl is captured by, she's in jail for, what was the crime? Gee willikers, blackmail. She was doing blackmail. This ugly woman right here actually is a lowbrow. He's a criminal, and he is going to basically trick her into eating some grub, and it poisons her. Sorry, and speaking of poison, need some liquid. And doesn't he look like he has a butt for a face? It's always been weird to me. Plastic Man is walking out. He's like, wait a minute, I don't even know her sister's name. And that's when he goes back and finds her dead like this, well, dying. And he's putting the pieces together. It's like, wait a minute, that ugly woman, that's the criminal. So he's going after them. And he's trying to catch up to him. I'm not sure why he's doesn't just get him right here as a piano. Yeah, quite not sure why he doesn't go after them directly. I guess he's got to listen in on their conversations to frame them or something. And they go back to the sister of that girl who died, and they give her a warning or something. It's a little hard to follow what's going on. It's one of the situations where I probably should have read the story before this. But it's not entirely a waste of time. When they fight, when they look for Plastic Man, they hear him talking. Well, they hear him talking, so they shoot whatever they think is him, which is that yellow and red vase. Let's play Where's Waldo? There he is. When he comes out, they're like, yeah, he may be soft as taffy, but he's still a human. And so basically they start pulverizing him. And I thought their punches would bounce off of him, but evidently they hurt. They tied him up, and he's like, don't shoot him. They'll just bounce off of him. Which is like, wouldn't their punches have bounced off of him too? At least the bullets would hurt if they don't penetrate his skin. But they're going to set him on fire and basically get rid of his sidekick. So overall, it's an okay story. It's just one of those things where the stories are very short because there's two stories in one comic book, and the comic book is not one of those, big dollar comics. It's a normal comic size, 40 cents. So it's not like you're getting a lot of pages per thing. So it's a connecting story. So yeah, you definitely need to read the arcs, and they aren't really titled, is another thing. I was like, this one says only one shall survive, but it's not like part 2, part 3. So the arcs are kind of ongoing. They're not really arcs. Like you could start with 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's why you're missing a lot of information here. Now, this is my second time reading it in my life. I had this issue when I was a kid. I clearly remember that right there. Not so much this, I don't remember, but then again, it's like he does this thing like 1,000 times. But I just remember this sarcophagus, thinking that looks a lot like the thing in the back of the Astro Station for Micronauts, except that one's silver. Plus, I really think he looks cool. I think Starman really looks cool. That's why I used to get adventure comic books. And then it started doing the Dollies for Hero, which was a cool concept. And Plastic Man was on cartoons. I remember in 5th grade I used to watch that cartoon. I think this is a 1979 comic. Nope, June 1980. but a lot of things in here are from 1979. So let me know if you've read this comic book and what you thought of it. And if you read it in sequence, did the Plastic Man story make a little bit more sense? Because I feel like I'm missing something.